Hey dudes, it's me. I'm back. So I really am updating this channel. So yeah, man, y'all wanted a lot of advice. So that's awesome. There were a ton of questions. So I'm going to get to as many as I can and then save some for later. Meanwhile, if you have more, you can ask in the comments below in this video. But first, somebody suggested that I use like this channel as like kind of a weekly check-in or just sort of update you guys on my life. So if you're interested, yeah, we're back at work at Inside Gaming. We started this past week, and just kind of, coming back from the holidays, I felt a little rusty. It was a little slow, kind of to just writing. My brain didn't work as well as it did in December, but I feel good. I'm excited about the new crew and everything. We've gone through some transition, but I'm stoked. I did some stand-up 2 nights ago. I headlined a show here in Austin, and that was a lot of fun. I haven't been doing as much as I wanted, but this was, I think I did like a 25-minute set, so a fair amount of time. Most of the jokes I did were like kind of ones that I knew were going to work. You sort of have your stock jokes that like this is probably going to work, and then I sprinkled in a couple new ones. One of them worked. One of them did not work at all, but a 50% success rate in stand-up is great. I will take that every time. So comedy is just such a matter of trying stuff new constantly, just sort of constantly writing, performing it, throwing it away if it doesn't work, or if you think there's something there, this is the hard part. If you think there's a good idea there, but you just haven't sort of cracked it yet, to try to, rephrase it a little bit, try it again. Some people have a rule, if it doesn't work 3 times, throw it away. I've had jokes that I've tried for years and I guess I can't throw anything away. I don't know. But this was a joke about me and my buddy running a 10K for the first time. And then kind of the punchline is we thought we were doing great, but at the end we realized that we were finishing with the power walkers, and then we heard at the end an announcer announce that a lady who was 100 years old was about to finish the race, and we just took off running so we wouldn't get beat by this old lady. And it worked pretty well, so that was cool. That's one of those things where it's just a story from real life that you take and you just kind of tell, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This one worked. So I like to tell a lot of stories like that. So that's definitely my style. But yeah, okay. So advice, let's do it. I pulled these up on my computer. Hold on. This is very high budget. And I'm sorry if the screen kind of wobbles. I'm just sort of all doing this myself, guys. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just taking a few. And first off, a lot of people ask me sort of for career advice, like how did I get started, advice for getting hired at a company like Rooster Teeth. And I'm asked that a fair amount, like at RTX and things like that when I meet the community. So I love talking about it. So let me hit that first. And I can tell you my story and how I got started, if that's helpful to you at all. So I started in regular journalism, so newspaper journalism. I was a journalism major in college. I wrote for my college paper. Before that, I wrote for my high school paper. Out of college, once I was in college, I didn't know quite what I wanted to do at first. I was a business major. I hated it. I almost failed accounting because I just didn't care. And so I kind of drifted around for a while, finally settled in journalism, started working for the college paper, and that was a huge help for me in terms of like solidifying what I wanted to do, and just like practice, man. Everything's practice, just like getting the reps in and just kind of getting your writing and your reporting down. And so that's how I started. And then after college, I was a reporter and an editor for many years in the newspaper industry. And it was a lot of fun. I really liked doing it. Unfortunately, newspapers are slowly, maybe not slowly, going extinct. Y'all know. How many of y'all subscribe to a newspaper? Exactly. Yeah. So while I was doing that, I started doing stand-up. And this was probably about 12 years ago, 11 years ago. And that was just for fun, like as a hobby. Fell in love with stand-up. But I didn't really have a desire to like quit my job and move, wherever and become like a professional stand-up. But then a few years ago, I got offered to basically host a TV show here in Austin. They were looking to do like a comedy television show. And so I did that. And we got the show on the air. It lasted 9 months until it got canceled. And but that's what happens. Things don't always work out. It was a great experience. Through that show, I actually interviewed Barbara and Blaine from Rooster Teeth because they had like a documentary out. It was something where they like had to give up their cell phones or all technology. And the joke was like, oh, these millennials, let's see how they live without technology. And I did an interview with them, but I kind of just sort of made fun of them the whole time just because I thought it would be funny. And they were great sports about it. They loved it. And through that, I just kind of got in contact with Rooster Teeth. And after the show fizzled out, I saw that they had an opening at the No. I contacted Ashley and did the interview, talked to her, talked to Bernie. And got hired. And so that was a little over 3 years ago. And it's been a great experience. Advice I would have, if you're interested in games journalism, focus on doing the job you want. Start doing that on your own now, like at a smaller scale, even if it's for a small website, even if you're just putting a post up on Medium, like if you want to review games, start reviewing games now. Do that, and then build up a body of work. If you want to make videos, make them for your own channel. If you want to edit, start editing, because then you're going to build up a body of work. And then when you apply for a job, then you could say, look, look at all this stuff. Here's 10 reviews I did. Here's 10 videos I've edited. You've already got a portfolio. That's what companies want, because they want you to already be doing the job you want. And if you're not doing that professionally, that is okay. Do it as a hobby. Do it for fun. It doesn't, just get started doing it on a smaller scale and see if you like it. See if it's something that you really do want to do, like for a living, because you might just like it as a hobby. But if you do want to do it, that's basically it. Try it on a smaller scale, build up a portfolio, and then network. Meet with people, go, if there's meetups, conventions, things like that. Get to know people in the area that you want to work in. And then just talk about, hey, how did you do it? And you can pick people's brains that way. Where'd you go to school? Did you go to school? Maybe you didn't even need to go to school. Meet people at a company you want to work for, and then not like in a weird way become friends, but just like hang out with people. That people are more likely to hire somebody they know than just a random person. So that's my big career advice. Okay, let's get specific. Okay, this comes from someone called Wind Blue Pirate, and they wrote, thinking of moving out, country-wise. Ooh, that's a big move. But my family is still in the country. We're a close family. Well, father's side. Holidays, birthdays, family reunions are usually together because family love and all that. Feeling reluctant because I won't hang out with cousins or chat with uncles and aunts ever again in my normal life. And any interaction would have to be planned over a plane trip. Your thoughts? Man, leaving the country and going somewhere else, that is a huge move. I've never done that. What I would suggest, maybe try it, but on a temporary basis. Like maybe if you can, I don't know, man, can you stay there for a few weeks? Be sure that this is a move you want to make, because culture shock is a real thing. And if you're going to a new country, the chances are you might not know anybody, or you might know very few people. So I would visit as much as you can, and try to get a sense of what the real country is. if it's for a job, if it's a really good opportunity, then yeah, maybe you make that move, do it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then you can come back. So, but yeah, it is tough. But sometimes you have to do it, man. I mean, it's, careers are tough. And then sometimes, like here in Austin, if you've worked like in Mexico, for example, or in Europe or something, companies love that. They're like, oh, that's awesome, because it kind of gives your resume something that other people don't necessarily have. And so people are always looking for something different. So it could be a good move. Let me know what you decide to do. I'd be interested in that. I don't know if I get homesick or not. Has anybody else made that kind of move, like a huge move like that? The closest I did when I was just out of college, I was working at a newspaper in Waco, Texas, and I went out for a job in Fairbanks, Alaska, which is in the middle of cold ass Alaska. I got the job. I interviewed. It was all through the phone, and then I was about to take it, and then I realized I don't want to go to Alaska. I don't know anybody there. I've grown up in Texas and Louisiana my whole life. The editor was telling me it gets 40 below in Alaska. Like, I was like, I can't deal with that. This was just sort of like a fanciful thought I had. And then I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I stayed. Okay. I hope that kind of answered your question. Jabus Tyler, what's good practices for public speaking? I'm a musician that gigs, but in my in-between talk is blah. Stand-up is great practice for public speaking. I don't know if you have any interest in, doing comedy at all or telling jokes, but try an open mic in your town. They usually have, if you live in a town of any size, there's usually some sort of open mic you can try. Or if your town doesn't have an open mic, start one. Go to a restaurant or bar, tell them what you want to do. A lot of them will do it because it brings people in. They love it. If you don't want to go the stand-up route, force yourself to talk in between gigs. You don't have to tell jokes, just maybe just talk. Try to interact with the crowd. Maybe pick out one guy. Hey, where are you from? What brings you here? We call that crowd work in stand-up. The more you do something, and this goes with anything, the more you force yourself to do something, the better you'll get. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Just force yourself to try to banter a little bit. Although, do they do that a lot? Yeah, I guess there's some. I saw Tenacious D one time. Best in-between set ever. Best in-between song banter, because it was Jack Black and Kyle Gass, and they're great. They're like, great performers in addition to being musicians. Okay. Battle Roy OW. So I'm 20 right now, doing the college thing, living with my parents as I don't make a lot of income, and the school I'm going to is 5 minutes away. For a while now, I've kind of lost all motivation to do anything. Like, I want to start streaming more. I want to play games. I want to start exercising so maybe I can feel better about myself, but I just feel lost right now and I don't know what to do. What the heck do I do? Man, I have totally been there. And I'll bet a lot of people watching have been there too. I went through a many year period in my 20s when I just like felt stuck. I had no motivation to do anything. It is tough, and you can kind of just lose yourself on, the internet and just kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think it's easy to just be passive about everything and just kind of watch life go by. And I definitely did. I got hard into MMOs. I spent like a long time playing like EverQuest and Final Fantasy 11 and WoW. And it was fun. Like, I had a good time. It honestly though, it also kind of felt like I was just pushing the pause button on my life. And just, I was sort of in this just in between zone where I was just kind of existing. And I've definitely been there. What I would suggest is, if you want to get fit, start by just like trying to run. There's like Couch to 10K apps. Get one of those and you will, it sort of paces you where it's like, just walk 60 seconds, then run 60 seconds, then walk 60 seconds, then like basically build into something. You know what I mean? That's something. Just start small, like make little changes, cut out soda, cut out, maybe just try to, eat like crap once a week instead of 5, like that was a huge issue with me too. I've been there, man. It is very tough. And, this economy sucks too. So I think it's easy to feel like you're just sort of treading water or just like not getting ahead at all. Try to stay positive, as much as you can and talk to people. I know it's tempting to feel like, you just want to isolate and not deal with anybody. Go hang out with friends. Get out of the house as much as you can. If you go out and do things with friends, I guarantee you'll meet more people. For me, what changed things for me, honestly, was starting to do stand-up. Like I started going out and doing open mics. And through that, I met other people, and you just meet a lot more people. And that's like, you'll make friends that way. You might start dating. Just all kinds of things open up. People invite you out to parties, stuff like that. Try that. It obviously doesn't have to be stand-up, any kind of group thing or like, meet up, stuff like that. Just try to get out, and, go to parks, man. Like, just force yourself to get out of the rut, even if it's just for a little bit, because if you start hanging out more and more in real life with people, I promise you, your outlook will change. We're social creatures, like as people. And I say this as somebody who's kind of a shut-in, but we're social people and we need that interaction. So good luck, man. And let me know how it goes. This is a good question. Okay, this is from Lupo Asheron. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to butcher your name. All right, Brian, I figure it's better to ask someone I don't know and is objective in the whole thing. I'm 27 and want to go back to school for culinary arts, but my family is basically saying it won't be worth it and thinks I should keep doing minimum wage, insecure jobs that could disappear at any moment because it's an income. Any advice on how to show them I could end up making more money in a more steady environment by spending a year or so studying? Yes, definitely go to culinary school. If that's what you want to do, don't let your parents be the one to say no. You live your life. Your parents are not the ones living your life. You're doing that. What I would suggest is, one, research the school you want to go to. There's some scammy schools out there. Make sure that their graduates, the people who went through that program, are doing something like you want to be. Like, where do those people who graduate, where do they end up? You know what I mean? Like, so look at it like that. And don't take out too much of a loan. What I would do, if you have to take out, make sure it's like manageable so you can pay it off at one point. Or save up your money, and then use that to go, to culinary school. As far as showing your parents, I would just sort of be straight up with them. Look, these low-paid jobs aren't going to go anywhere. They're not going to help my resume in the long term. It's not what I'm passionate about. I'm going to make more money if I can pause for a year, and then if I make twice as much, I can make that up in like a year or two. So even financially, it kind of makes sense because, the minimum wage, man, that's a rough. I worked minimum wage jobs, and it's tough, so I feel you. But at the end of the day, you got to do your life. So even if they don't approve, like, go do, what are they going to do? Like, just go do it. If you have to move in with some roommates, find a bunch of roommates to live with, split up your bills, and you can make it work. So that would be my advice. Go for it. Always go for it. You are in charge of your life. Nobody else is going to live your life or give you opportunities. You've got to take them. So just be proactive about it. Okay, let's do a couple more. This video is getting long. Dang. Stephen Y, how do you manage your kids? Let me try this again. Stephen Y, how did you manage with your kids and gaming? I'm 40, grew up playing Nintendo, still playing games. Great question. That is the hardest thing to do because, when I was in my 20s, you got nothing but time for games. Like, if you got a job, you go do your job, and then you get home, and it's like, man, I got hours before I go to bed. With kids, you know, they need you, and they're a priority. Honestly, what I do, you have to be more intentional about when you can play games. So for me, a lot of times it's after they go to bed, honestly, you know, or early in the morning sometimes. But yeah, it's hard. You don't have the hours as much. There's no way I could play an MMO like that anymore. Although I loved MMOs back in the day, but I just don't have the time. I'd just be a filthy ass casual. I wouldn't be like in a good, you know, raiding group, which is what I would want to be because I get competitive. So it's hard. But here's something I will say. Once your kids get a certain age, they will start to play games with you. So that part rules. So then you can start like playing Smash with them, Mario. You know, there's a lot of like, they love platformers, stuff like that. So it actually, there's definitely a span where you're going to have to not play as many games. But once they get a certain age, you can start play with them. You know, they'll play with you. You're their parent. They want to hang out with you. Just, you know, don't let them play with you for like 5 hours a night or anything. Be smart about it. Maybe set aside an hour and just do family game night. That's a blast. So that would be my advice. But yeah, I definitely notice like with kids, I use the 3DS more. I use the Switch a lot more handheld stuff. I just do. I play Hearthstone a lot because it's very quick and like I can play a game in 5 minutes and then be off doing something else. And sort of games that require like long sessions, like MMOs, are just kind of out for me at least. All right, last one. This is from Ken. Hey, Brother Brian, can you give me advice on how to propose to my gamer girlfriend? Damn, I've been thinking about this. I still don't have a great answer, but what I will say is, she is going to want something that shows you put effort into it. And that all that means is you're just showing that you care and that it means a lot. If you know how to program or something, it would be cool to like, man, if you were like a PC guy, you could like mod her game and like put a proposal in there. That would be badass. I don't know if y'all play Minecraft, like put something in there, like make a little fucking maze for her or a little scavenger hunt of stuff to find. And then there's like a little Minecraft, you know, ring at the end that you built for her. I don't know, man. That's a good one. You could do it maybe at an arcade. That would be kind of fun. Just do something that like is going to give her a good story to tell her friends. Because at the end of the day, that's what she wants. Let's be honest. All right. That is the dad advice video. If you liked it, if you have more advice that you need, ask me in the comments and I'll get to them. This is fun. All right.